Welcome back to Mzansi Best Brands. Ford Motor Company, founded in 1903 by Henry Ford, revolutionized the automobile industry with the introduction of the assembly line, allowing for mass production and the development of affordable cars like the iconic Model T, which launched in 1908. As the company began operating in the early 1900s, it quickly became a dominant player in the US and the global automotive market, expanding sales significantly throughout the 20th century. Hot on its heels was General Motors, but unlike Ford, GM experienced multiple losses despite the viable opportunities it struggled to handle. Along with GM, Ford's entry into South Africa began in 1923 with the import and local assembly of the Model T. Although Ford Model T was first launched in the US in 1908, it became a favorite in South Africa due to its affordability and robustness, suited for the country's often rugged roads. Ford sold millions of Model T cars, with total sales exceeding 15 million units worldwide by the end of its production in 1927. The Ford Motor Company of Southern Africa is headquartered in Pretoria. Ford's influence in South Africa has been both deep and transformative, with memorable models that left a significant mark on the local automotive landscape. In the post-WWII era, models like the Ford Prefect and Anglia became popular. These models catered to the growing middle-class South African market, offering compact, affordable, and reliable transportation. Ford South Africa offers various models for sale, including popular vehicles like the Mustang GT, launched in 1964. Throughout the 1960s, the Ford Cortina became a household name. Its stylish design and performance made it a favorite among families, and it remained a dominant presence on South African roads throughout the 1970s and 1980s. The Cortina, particularly the XR6 version, was famous for its speed and power, with a strong following among performance enthusiasts. The Ford Sierra XR6, a successor to the Cortina, was launched in the 1980s and gained popularity for its sporty design and powerful performance. It became especially famous for local modifications and racing, reinforcing Ford's reputation for producing performance-driven models. A legendary workhorse, first introduced in the early 1980s, the Bantam Bakkie or pickup truck, became one of South Africa's best-loved small utility vehicles. Over the years, it was celebrated for its durability, fuel efficiency, and versatility, fitting perfectly into both urban and rural environments. The Bantam remained in production until 2011, and its legacy continues as a symbol of Ford's deep connection to local needs in the light commercial vehicle segment. The Ford Sapphire was a popular luxury sedan in the late 1980s and early 1990s, appealing to the South African market with its comfortable design and reliable performance. It bridged the gap between economy and luxury cars, reinforcing Ford's presence in both segments. When the South African economy deteriorated due to political instability, international sanctions, and local economic issues, GM experienced financial losses for several years, which ultimately led to its withdrawal from the market by selling its local presence off and rebranding into the Delta Motor Corporation. South Africa saw the emergence of local manufacturers, including the establishment of the South African Motor Corporation, SAMCOR, in 1981, producing vehicles tailored to local needs. Introduced in 2000, the Ford Ranger has become a flagship vehicle for Ford in South Africa, dominating the light commercial vehicle market. With its blend of toughness, versatility, and advanced technology, it has become the leading bakkie in the country. GM returned to South Africa post-apartheid, but eventually decided to pull out again in 2017. This decision was driven by global business considerations, despite the local market still being viable. GM sold its operations to Isuzu Motors South Africa, who also distribute automobiles under the Chevrolet and Opel brands. The Ford Everest, launched in 2009, provided a strong contender in the SUV market. Designed to handle both urban and off-road driving, it complements the Ranger and appeals to a wide range of consumers. By 2021, over 900,000 Rangers had been sold. Ford continues to invest heavily in its production capacity in South Africa, with the next-gen Ranger set to build on the model's success, despite labor strikes, resolved in negotiation with the National Union of Metal Workers of South Africa, NUMSA. This new version includes advanced technological features, improved performance, and increased capacity for local and global markets. Ford's operations in South Africa have led to extensive local job creation and technical upskilling. Their Silverton assembly plant in Pretoria and Struendale engine plant in Port Elizabeth have become significant employers, with Ford investing billions to modernize these facilities. The 2021 investment of 16.8 billion rand to expand Silverton for the next-gen Ranger not only increased production, but also created thousands of new jobs and fostered local supplier development through the Tshwane Automotive Special Economic Zone, SEZ. The company's long-standing commitment to local manufacturing, upskilling and supply chain development has spurred the growth of related industries, including local component manufacturing and infrastructure development. Ford's impact extends beyond vehicles. It helped industrialize nations, especially in the United States, by creating jobs and fostering technical skills in manufacturing. The assembly line method boosted productivity and became a blueprint for other industries. Ford also contributed to the development of infrastructure, such as roads and highways, and significantly influenced local economies and businesses that support the automotive industry. From the early Model T to the current Ford Ranger and Everest, Ford has been at the forefront of South Africa's automotive development. Its vehicles have not only shaped the country's automotive market, but also played a significant role in the broader economic and industrial landscape. As Ford continues to innovate and expand, its influence on South African society remains strong. Ford operates prominently in South Africa, focusing on vehicle manufacturing and distribution. Ford is the second-largest US-based automaker behind General Motors, and the sixth-largest in the world, behind Toyota, Volkswagen Group, Hyundai Motor Group, and Stellantis, based on 2022 vehicle production. The company sells automobiles and commercial vehicles under the Ford brand and luxury cars under its Lincoln brand. The company is listed on the New York Stock Exchange and is controlled by the Ford family. They have minority ownership but a plurality of the voting power. Ford has had a remarkable impact on South Africa since its early operations began, marking more than a century of influence on the automotive industry and broader society. Initially, Ford imported and assembled vehicles, but over the decades it grew into a major local manufacturer, developing several key models suited for the South African market. Ford's presence has also had a broader economic impact, spurring the growth of industries like local component manufacturing and contributing to skills development in engineering, design, and automotive technology. Through public-private partnerships, Ford has actively worked with government entities to enhance local infrastructure and boost exports. Their investments in research and development during the 1980s helped South Africa become a leader in vehicle innovation, particularly when the country faced international sanctions. Ford's influence in South Africa's automotive sector cannot be overstated. With over a century of operations, it continues to be a pivotal player in driving technical skills development, economic growth, and South Africa's standing as a global automotive production hub. Thank you for joining us on this exploration of the Ford Motor Company of South Africa. Join us for our next episode as we take a tour along the history of your favorite motor brands and how they've made their mark here in Mzansi. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an episode of Mzansi Best Brands. Time will tell.